I am Mary Newsom. I'm thankful that you can be with us tonight. I am one of the members of the Live Again Ministry and the educational consultant with Tribe. Tribe was a dream of Ronnie Russell's and myself roughly about 4 years ago. Ronnie had envisioned creating a curriculum and an outreach not just outside of our country, but really touching the community here in Locust, North Carolina. And we decided to start with our own high schools here in the area that we love the most, which is here in Locust, North Carolina. And we looked at West Stanley High School and Middle School. He came to me as I was a elementary and principal and said, do you have any interest in writing a curriculum? At this time, this was a huge passion of mine. I had been in education for almost 14 years at this time and had been at the school principal level, at the high school, middle school, and elementary level. And I was really caught. I felt that kids would come to my office and you were caught between really wanting to support your teachers because you knew that these children were being disruptive in the classroom and to their fellow peers who were learning, but you knew that also on the flip side, suspending the children and giving them silent lunch, these punitive punishments that were not working. There was something deeper missing, but there wasn't time in the school system to try to figure those things out. So there had to be a better option. There had to be something that we had to do, but there wasn't time for this. And so when Ronnie came to me with the idea of writing a curriculum, it was something that was really put upon my heart that I was like, yes, there's time that we have to figure out. There's a disconnect in our children right now in our public schools relating to discipline, and there's a missing piece, and it's not a punitive punishment, but they're not understanding the repercussions of their actions. There's an impulse to the reactions. So through this, we began to really research, and we're going to show you tonight the research that we found to really be appealing to both of us and to go, aha, this is where we feel like the missing link is. And it's somewhere where we believe that we can blame it and say that it's things that should happen at home. Say what you want to say, but the bottom line is that if we don't come together as a community, and if we don't start coming together alongside all of our kids that are in need of social and emotional love and support, then we're going to suffer together as a community and as a world. And so let us introduce you to just take a look at Mark. Mark is actually a cousin of both Ronnie and I. And man, look how what a handsome guy that Mark is. This is one of my favorite pictures of Mark, and I feel like I truly dedicate Tribe really in my heart to Mark. I can hear his laugh. I can see his smile. He truly was just one of those people that just radiated happiness. And what is so crazy about the story of Mark is a few Thanksgivings ago, we got a call that that Mark had taken his own life. And I remember sitting in the car after my dad told me that, going, this can't be true. Mark was one of the happiest people I knew. Mark couldn't have committed suicide. That's not possible. That's not something that would happen. Mark was always happy. I just saw him. Just like Mark's personality. Mark, if you did anything, Mark showed up. If you graduated, Mark showed up. If you got married, Mark showed up. I launched a business, Mark showed up. Mark was your cheerleader. Mark was your number one fan. And Mark was always there to support you. And Mark was always smiling. And I had no idea that Mark faced any kind of demons inside. And you're going to be shocked tonight to know some of the statistics of how many kids walk through our middle and high schools and battle a mental health. But yet we treat them inside of our schools just like we expect for them to perform just like their neighbors that don't have a mental health. And so that's what our Tribe program is about. It's about giving hope. And that is ultimately what we hope to accomplish, is that we provide our at-risk middle and high school kids who battle a mental health disease, who battle depression, who battle anxiety, who battle just demons at night and in their minds, who battle anxiety, who battle just comparison. We want to give them hope that they can become a better version of themselves every single day. So this is for you, Mark. In 2017, the National Alliance of Mental Illnesses released that 1 in 5 children ages 13 to 18 have or will have a serious mental health. Knowing that 50% of children ages 14 and up who do suffer from a mental health will drop out. So we are completely doing a disservice inside of our schools when we ignore the mental health of our students. Also, suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death among our youth students, ages 10 to 24. These are illnesses that we can no longer ignore. Just here in the U.S., 1 out of 4 kids have been exposed to weapon violence, whether that's violence with a gun, a knife, brass knuckles, or with a stick. They have witnessed someone being abused with a weapon, or they have actually been abused themselves. So imagine that, 1 out of 4. So what does this really lead to inside of a child's life? The American Pediatrics has read that at-risk kids who have been exposed to weapon violence are way more likely to actually have a mental health. There's a high correlation between weapon violence and mental health disorders within children of at risk. I remember the moment when I was sitting at West Stanley High School as a biology student myself, when my teacher turned on the news and shared with us that there had been a school shooting at Columbine High School. We were all really disturbed and confused. This was the beginning of many, many school shootings. Since Columbine, 215,000 students have been exposed to gun violence. It isn't your students that are traditionally those that are always in trouble. It's typically those students that wrestle with a mental health disorder. Those that maybe stood over to the side with a hood over their head, those that maybe have been picked on. We're often looking at a student who is not in control of their emotions. Tribe is based around the research of American psychologist Paul Ekman. Paul studied a tribe in New Guinea in 1972. And he took pictures of people showing different emotions around the eastern and western part of the world. And through his research, he found the following emotions that people had in common and how individuals responded to each emotion resembled common facial features, even if they didn't speak the same language or if tribes were nonverbal. So no matter the location and no matter the age, when responding to blank emotion, the facial expressions were the same. Those emotions were anger, happiness, surprise, disgust, sadness, and fear. He came to the conclusion that we were actually all born with these 6 innate emotions. This led to the work of Eric Jenkins and what is called the emotional keyboard. Eric believes that there are 10 other emotions that we as humans experience in life, or yet better much are expected to respond correctly to in public settings. In settings such as school, community events, the workforce, sporting events. However, these emotional responses have to be taught to us. Primarily, these are things our caregivers may have taught us in our younger years. But kids of poverty, often they've missed these. Their caregiver may have been busy working outside of the home, or may have not been available or spent enough time with them in the hand-to-hand, eye-to-eye time to be able to develop these emotional responses. Therefore, they're lacking in the correct emotional responses. They may feel the emotion, but they lack the ability to correctly show the emotion. Therefore, they will respond to the 6 emotions that they are born to. Let's look at this more closely. A student has brought their lunch. Someone has stolen their lunch. You retrieve the lunch back. You ask the student to just forgive the student for stealing their lunch. That student has never in their life been taught how to forgive. That is an emotional response that must be taught. Therefore, that student reverts back to an emotional response that they have been taught. More than likely, it would go to anger, disgust, sadness. So what do? They begin to beat the kid up. I'm not going to forgive you. I'm going to hurt you. You stole my lunch. I'm angry at you. So now we've started a cycle. That child who initially got his lunch stolen is now being punished for his response to getting his lunch stolen because you asked him to forgive. He doesn't know how to forgive. You send him to the office at the school to be punished because he doesn't forgive. In respect, the principal gives him out of school suspension for fighting. The child goes home. The child comes back. Has the child learned anything about forgiveness? No. Because the emotional response was forgiveness. The child is not going to learn forgiveness until the child has been taught strategies and ways to forgive, because they missed that in their previous years of growing up. Therefore, we have to look at what's called the emotional keyboard. If you look at this theory, there are keys that we consider to be taught. The emotions that we have to work on. This is what we do in Tribe. We work on skills such as humility, forgiveness, empathy, optimism, compassion, sympathy, patience, shame, cooperation, gratitude. We bundle this all with also in a job aspect. So we practice these in strategies. So we give our kids almost like a toolbox. We give you 2 to 3 ways to be able to show humility. We do this through role playing. What would this look like in your life at school? How do we show this? And so they have 2 or 3 ways they're able to do this. We also work through the pain that may prevent them from being able to show this emotional response. And then we talk about how does this look like in the workforce? How do you have to use this in the job force? So we want to prepare them for their future and expose them to jobs, expose them to the community that they need to be exposed to. We want to try to prevent them from going back to the innate responses that are inappropriate, such as the sadness, disgust, the anger, the fear that may always overtake the emotional responses when they're not correctly needed. So you may be saying, this all sounds so great, Mary, but where's the data? Where does it show that it actually works? Well, it typically takes a program 3 years to really prove results. We've had 2 graduating classes so far, and we already see results. And the best set of results is seen in student self-perception. You're going to see now some data where students rated themselves on what they thought about themselves, their self-confidence when they entered the TRIBE program, and then they completed the same exact survey when they exited program. So take a moment and reflect on what these students thought about themselves, the score that they gave themselves in self-confidence when they entered our TRIBE program this past year in 2017 and when they exited our program in May of 2018. It's pretty amazing to see how much their self-confidence grew just simply through the TRIBE program. We have another amazing testimony from one of our students who has completed our program twice. Students are welcome to stay in our program year after year. And one of our students, she actually, this past school year, she graduated. Her middle school principal came up to us and said, I don't think she would have ever graduated had it not been for the TRIBE program. But not only did she graduate, she was awarded out of her whole senior class the Perseverance Award. So you may be saying, Mary, what do I do now? How do I invest in this program? We're asking for each of you to partner with us, and that partnership may look very different for each of you. Your partnership may be, I want my footprint inside of this program. It is my chance to make a difference in my community. It's my investment because I believe in the work and the power that's happening here. And if that is pulling at your heart, we need your help. Areas that we most desperately need help in right now is a financial resource. So if you are out there going, you know what? I want to do a one-time donorship of blank, then that is how we want your partnership to be. If you're looking here and going, you know what? I want to become a monthly partnership, then that is where we need for you to be. We need for you to say, I want to give $100 every month to the TRIBE program. I want to give $200 every month to the TRIBE program. I want to be a $1,000 donor every single month for the TRIBE program. Then you may be looking at us and you may go, okay, what resources do you need? Okay, we are desperately in need of multiple different resources. Right now, we take our kids home in our own transportations. So yes, we are in need of raising money to get a van. We are right now in need of new computers. Right now, we borrow computers from the school system. So you can only imagine we get the hand-me-downs, but we are so thankful for what we have. If you cannot help in the financial part, maybe you have connections for us to be able to get a van, to get computers. Maybe you have connections for us to be able to get about in the community. Maybe you have We do a financial, in the summer, we do internships. So maybe you're willing to let one of our kids do their internships with you. Maybe the way that we pay our kids are through gift cards. So maybe you're willing to donate those gift cards to us. So maybe you're willing to say, you know what, I own this kind of store and I am willing to give you this many gift cards. We are asking you to come around us as a community and with a vision to make this so big. Once we start and we've got one tribe running, we are ready to start and running the next tribe program. Our vision is to not just stop with one school, but to replicate this all around different cities that are in desperate need, where these kids that are battling mental health have hope. That is our point, is to start this. So if you are willing to financially partner with us, we are ready to go. If you cannot financially partner with us, we are asking for you to refer your friends who can. If you know someone who is ready and has the financial ability, resource us out and let us connect with them and share the passion that we have here. And the last thing that we ask, if you will just pray with us, pray that God opens these doors and makes these miracles happen, because guys, these babies are graduating because of this program. These babies are gaining hope because of these programs. And I say babies, but they are adults, but they are our babies because we love and we care for them and we give them hope, because they are now transforming lives, and that is what we want them to do, gain hope, and so that they can give hope to others. And that is what Tribe is all about. So thank you tonight. We are going to be putting up a PayPal account where you can PayPal us. We're going to be putting up a Google Doc form where you can fill it out to become our financial partner with us. If you decide monthly, we will be having an enrollment where monthly we can just run your card monthly for that, to make it as easy as possible. But thank you again, and let us pray with you right now as we just come before you, God. We just know that your heart is in this program right now, God, that this was your idea long before it ever came into us, God. And we know that you right now have already built this so much bigger than our hearts and our eyes can even imagine, God. This is going to be so much bigger. This is going to be where leaders are born, where kids that have come from no hope, where they will find hope and they will go and build and be your warriors, and they will do so much because of the people out here that are listening to this and blessing this program. And Lord, we just pray, Father, that you are closing these gaps that we have for this year and for years to come, God. We know that you are so much bigger than we could ask. And we thank you and we praise you, God, and we know what's going to happen. So thank you for partnering with us. Thank you for making Tribe an exceptional place for kids to be. Bye, guys.